Welcome to Thanos the Creator, and today's video is going to be a very special one, near and dear to my heart. I have held this opinion for a very long time, but have never really gotten to share it. And now, today is the day that I get to share it with you. Alright? Avatar, the new one is going to be coming out soon, and I figured it would be a perfect time to talk about the original one. The one that came out a while back, years and years ago. It's 2009. And for those that, it's come out in theaters multiple times since then. It's been re-put back into theaters, I should say, multiple times since then. But for those that don't understand, this is going to be the synopsis of the movie. And I'm going to be taking this off of IMDb. So, when his brother is killed in a robbery, paraplegic Marine Jake Sully decides to take his place in a mission on the distant world of Pandora. There he learns of greedy corporate figurehead Parker Selfridge's intentions of driving off the native humanoid, Navi, in order to mine for their precious material scattered throughout their rich wonderland. Same thing. In exchange for the spinal surgery that will fix his legs, Jake gathers knowledge of the indigenous race and their culture for the cooperating military unit spearheaded by gung-ho Colonel Quaritch, I think is how you pronounce it, while simultaneously attempting to infiltrate the Navi people with the use of an avatar identity, while Jake begins to bond with the native tribe and quickly falls in love with the beautiful alien Neytiri. The restless colonel moves forward with his ruthless extermination tactics, forcing the soldier to take a stand and fight back in an epic battle for the fate of Pandora. That was written by the Massey twins. What a wonderful synopsis and summary. But guys, a lot of you know this, and if you haven't seen the movie, you would recognize the avatars, the big blue figures. There's a couple problems I have with this movie, okay? We're just gonna, right out the gate, do the whole thing. I don't know if there's something wrong with my eyes. If my eyes, I grew up with 20/20 vision all the time. I know that as I'm getting older, my eyes have slowly been not as good as they used to be. And there's certain colors like red and orange, certain reds and oranges I get confused. I call it orange red. And a lot of people say, I might be colorblind in that closest hue. Not really bad by any means. I haven't got my eyes tested in a while. But the reason I'm telling you this is because the graphic quality of Avatar looks horrendous to me. Like, the blue avatars just look so fake. When we reference things that have good CGI, such as Lord of the Rings, does it still look fake? Yes. Can you tell CGI? Yes, you can. But when you look at a movie like Lord of the Rings, you understand that they only did so much CGI and the rest was real. Now, apparently with the new Avatar coming out, there is a realness to it, but I still watch that trailer and think, how could anybody see these blue aliens as anything other than atrociously CW fake quality? Seriously, watch a CW TV show. The Green Arrow, or the Arrow about the Green Arrow, is about the only one that I think wasn't awful. But then when you look at Wonder Woman or The Flash, I couldn't even watch The Flash. It was so terrible, but that might be for another video. But you look at the CW's quality of CGI, and that's what I see when I look at these blue Avatar figures. It's terrible. It's awful. I can't take it serious. And then let alone the fact, I always love when people put military movies out and it's always the military guy is evil. So you're saying, is the military guy evil? Because the military guy is the hero. Well, that depends on what perspective you look at. Because we live in a country that's so for our military, and we live in a country where we respect them and they're awesome and all this different stuff. And anybody who's in the military that goes AWOL, rebelling against authority and all this stuff, gets honorable discharge or dishonorable discharge or honorable, it could be depending on the situation. But we look at them as lesser. But then when we put out a movie where there's a Marine who's going to rebel against his commanding officer for love, and for what you could look at as wrong, they're trying to exterminate the avatars or the Navi. But it's such a annoying storyline to me. We're going to demonize our military, which shouldn't be done in any movie, ever. I don't believe that. I don't respect that. I don't love that. And so when I look at the CW quality of CGI, and when I look at the disrespect to our military, not saying in the movie that the military was doing the right thing. You know, I think there's other diplomatic ways to do this, all right? To harvest and mine things or whatever it is, but I think it was sacred to the Na'vi, right? And all this different stuff. But when I look at this, the storyline doesn't make sense to me. I don't think there's very many people who would sign up for the military just to rebel against them at the first sign of orders. Even if it is, we're gonna lure you with a surgery to fix your back and make you walk again, which is such a weird thing to do anyway. You're just gonna lure somebody. There's just a lot of plot to this that I don't love. Now, the cast, the acting, the writing, you know, you could argue. I haven't seen it in a while, but from what I remember, I never had an issue with that. I never had an issue with the cast, writing, and so on. It was the CGI, and it was the plot. And it was the fact that this movie was ridiculously long for what I saw as no real reason. You could have fit the same storyline with the same emotional response in an hour and a half, but instead, let's make it 3 hours. And this new movie that's going to be coming out, there are realistic settings, I believe. I believe some of the water that they filmed in was real, but there's still CGI. And so what we're going to get in this movie that's going to be a significant amount of time is a lot of B-roll. But guess what? A lot of that B-roll is going to be 25% real and 85%, the math doesn't check out there, 75% fake. So you're going to give me B-roll of how CGI looks. But the CGI in this movie doesn't even look real. So I'm sorry to say this, and I'm sure I'll get some hate, but the original Avatar is one of the most overrated movies ever made. It didn't deserve the amount of money it made in the box office. It didn't deserve any of the awards that it got, and it didn't deserve the cult fandom that it got. But you know what? That's the funny thing about our society and culture is cult followings can happen to the worst of movies. Dumb ones that don't deserve it, that don't deserve a cult following, but because of the feeling it gives us. And that's where you gotta give prop to the writers. That's where it's tippable. I tip my hat to you, sir. It is tippable, what you have done. And then giving it the amount of time it needed to make the next one. But I believe that there was a promise made of multiple sequels being made. Or, well, maybe they're not sequels. Are they prequels or are they sequels? Whatever. Multiple movies being made in the Avatar storyline. And there was years attached to those promises. What happens if this first sequel, this next movie in the line comes out and it doesn't break the box office? Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to break the box office, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that have made up their mind before they go into the movie, and they're not going to be willing to say that it's bad, even if it is, right? We see that a lot nowadays. I mean, if Fast and Furious can keep coming out with movies and make money, then obviously Avatar, which is significantly higher than Fast and Furious, is going to make money. And it took so long to come out. And there's been so many people waiting for this. And there's so many people that love the original for unknown reasons to me. That's not true. I did say the reasons. Is the writing and the way the movie makes you feel. But it's fake CGI with a terrible plot. And based on the trailer of the new one, I'm not sure there's going to be a better plot. And there's definitely more crappy CGI. Because it looks like we're in the Avatar's world for more of it. At least last time there was outside the Avatar world a little bit. This one looks like we're just going to be in the Avatar world. And there's going to be babies and there's going to be, you know... I mean, did anybody else notice, like, in the original movie, they had the flying thing that they had to learn to ride and, like, bond with? They basically just copy and pasted that in the new one, just underwater. Did nobody else catch that? Am I the only one that it's literally a ripoff of the original? And they're going to spend how long of a scene on that to make it over 3-hour long movie that's just going to be repetitive as all get out? I'm just not sure that I can support this. I'm just not sure that I'm going to go see this in theaters, let alone the fact that I struggle to sit in theaters for a 2-hour movie, let alone over 3 hours, because I have an 82-inch TV at home, and sitting in the comfort of my living room is way better than going to a movie theater. I can make a steak and sit and watch my movie. I don't have to overspend on all the concessions at a movie theater and sit there for 3.5 hours. The last movie that I saw in theaters was Wakanda Forever, and the reason I did that was for my grandpa, to hang out with him. But before that, the last movie I saw in theaters was Dune. Quality movie. We'll talk about it sometime. But this is going to be wrapping up Avatar. If you watch the channel trailer for this channel, snap my fingers and I'll destroy half your movie. Well, the writing was good and the acting was good. That's 2. The CGI and the plot was awful. That's 2. I destroyed half your movie. How can you fix it? Chop the movie down, rewrite your plot, cut the crappy CGI, spend the money on some makeup artists, and what do you know? We might have a decent movie. Or it's just crap and we shouldn't be getting a sequel. That's the one I'd go with. Sometimes it's unfixable. Sometimes you just gotta snap your fingers and let half of it die and rework the rest. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. I'm sure some of you have opinions. I hope you're writing in the comments. I hope you at least watched to the end of the video so you can hear everything that I said. But that's it. I basically just snap my fingers and destroy half of the subject I'm talking about. But I give it credit for its writing and its acting. Zoe Saldana is a phenomenal actress. I think she was the best part of that whole movie, even though there's nothing but CGI and so on. It's just kind of voice acting. So did you really utilize her to her potential? No, you didn't. I feel like that's a score down now that I think about it. But anyway, I gotta rest my case. We'll leave it at that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Avatar, the most overrated movie of all time. And Avatar, Way of Water, or Waterway, or Under the Sea, Little Mermaid, Avatar, whatever the sequel's called, will be one of the biggest flops in movie history. We'll catch y'all later. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and be ready for me to snap my fingers and destroy something else next time. See ya.